folks, welcome back to AAA Farms. James here. Today's video is going to be a little bit different than most. We're going to be doing a little smoking video. So I got some beef ribs from when we had the steer butchered a few months back, I guess, at this point. I've been wanting to smoke some beef ribs, never done it before, so today might turn out really well or it might turn out really bad. My smoker used to be a Pit Boss smoker. I had a Pit Boss vertical smoker. Loved it. It worked great. It did exactly what I needed to do. However, the dogs decided they like all the cables to it, and so they chewed up all the wiring for it, and it is worthless now. So what I'm going to use is this bullet smoker that I won like when I was 18 years old, and I turned 35 tomorrow. So what is that? 17 years ago. 17 years ago I won this thing, and I never really used it until about 4 or 5 years ago. I actually took it out of the box for the first time, put it all together. I smoked a whole chicken with it, and it turned out really well. I also smoked a beef roast, and made poor man burnt ends with it. Turned out really well. I think I messed up on the seasoning a little bit on the burnt ends, if I remember right. Like, it still tasted good. It was a little bit too much barbecue sauce, I think is what it was, whenever I cubed them up and made burnt ends out of them. But gonna be doing the beef ribs on this thing today. I like using this thing. There's not a whole lot of control you got on it. The only thing you can really do is open that door right there, and you can feed more coal or charcoal to it, and you can feed more wood blocks, wood chips, whatever you want to use. I used charcoal that I got with it whenever I want it, so the charcoal wasn't in the best condition because it's been sitting in the shed and stuff. And then some wood chips I had from I've always had propane grills, so I've used wood chips in the past with the propane grill to smoke. However, if you got a propane grill, it works, but man, it tastes so much better off of this than that Pit Boss smoker. So I'm gonna get this thing fired up and ready to go. We need it to start burning and heating up while we get the beef ribs together. So like I said, I won the smoker back in like a raffle, if I remember right. It ain't super complicated. If you look at the temp gauge, it literally says warm, ideal, hot. Typically I try to keep it to the middle, to the lower end of ideal. Don't know how hot that actually is. Then you got your actual charcoal basket, and then we got all of our this is supposed to be a watering pan, and we got our 2 cooking racks. That's really it. I need to clean these cooking racks up really well too. Like I said, it's been probably 5 to 6 years since I've used this thing, so it's been a while. Go ahead and put our charcoal basket in there. Fits in there. There we go. You can definitely tell this thing's been beat up a little bit. I need to get a been wanting to make the transition to offset smoker. I just haven't spent the money yet. So let me go get the charcoal. So I ain't gonna lie to y'all, I'm very new to the charcoal world. I know Kingsford is supposed to be a good brand. I got the low and slow briquettes. Had a hard time choosing between briquettes and lump coal or lump charcoal. I was leaning more towards the lump charcoal just because it's more natural, I guess. But everything I was reading says it runs hotter, and with this we're not wanting hot, we're wanting a low and slow, so low and slow. We're going to be going at this for a few hours, so we're going to put quite a bit in this pan. Okay, don't have a chimney to light this thing or get a good light, but I do have a propane torch from back when we worked on the F-250. Let me go get it. So we're going through this door in the front. Thinking that's going to be the way to go. I don't know if y'all can see it on camera or not, and y'all cannot. So what I did is I just focused and I lit the center spot so that we could we're not wanting a ton of heat. We're wanting around 250 degrees, which with our gauge that we have, we're just going to take a swing and guess at it. We're going to try to keep it in that mid to low ideal range. What this is going to let me do though is, since I only caught the center part on fire, it should give you a longer smoke, just because it's going to slowly light everything around it and heat up. So I'm going to leave this all wide open while it while it gets lit and while we get everything else ready. We got 4 packs of these ribs. We got 2 packs here, 2 packs there. I'm going to get them all opened up and get ready to put some seasoning on them. Okay, we got them all unpackaged. I scored the membrane on the back instead of trying to peel it all off. I'm going to use mustard as a binder. Come on, man. Okay, I'm gonna hit it with salt, pepper, and garlic powder. Oh, come on. And we're going to hit it with some paprika. Alright, now that we got all 4 sides covered, caked, we got all our seasons. Like I said, we just got salt, pepper, garlic powder, and some paprika. On pork ribs, I typically throw some cayenne on there as well. This is my first time ever cooking beef ribs though, so I'm going to leave cayenne off of it because I don't know how well cayenne will go with beef. Probably good because cayenne goes great with everything, but next step is to carry all this out to the smoker. We'll put the smoker together and we'll put all this on the smoker and we'll let it cook for the next, I don't know, probably roughly 6 hours. Okay, so you can see most of our coals are ashed over already. So we'll throw the deflecting plate in there. And I'm going to go ahead and close things up, let it start getting up to temp. I'm going to go clean these racks real quick because these racks look like crud. I'm going to leave that door cracked open just a hair. Okay, so I went and cleaned the racks up. I got them in the smoker. They're a little damp, so I'm going to let them run a little bit. Which I guess I'll take this one out before it gets too hot for me to touch, because we are going to have to use both racks cook today just because of the amount of meat I got. Currently in the middle of ideal as far as heat. I'm going to close the door. I'm going to get our meat real quick. Okay, I got our meat here. We're going to open the lid up. What I'm going to do is put the fatter chunks at the bottom. Since in theory it's probably going to be hotter closer to the fire, you know. We're going to go rib down too. Oh. Oh. We'll put the rest up top. See some bare meat there. This from us handling it. Well, scrape some of the season off this pan and try to get that covered. All right. So I'll put the lid on. And we're going to let it smoke. We'll have to keep a very close eye to our temp here. Let's see. Trying to do all this with one hand. You can see we're kind of on the low end of the deal. Earlier, before I took the lid off and everything, we were about midway in ideal, which is fine. So we're going to let this sit for a bit and then see what adjustments we need to do. Like I said, the only adjustment we can really do is open and close that door. So we'll come back in a couple of minutes and see where we're at. Okay, we got it about where I want it. I want it kind of in the ideal range, but on the lower end, because the idea is a low, slow cook on these. So one thing I'm going to do to add a little bit of flavor other than just the charcoal is I got some of this mesquite chuck wood. Decided to go with mesquite. Oh man, decided to go with mesquite. I like it with my beef a little bit better. With these wood chunks, all you'll do, as you can see, they're just small little chunks. You'll just take a couple, you can throw it in your charcoal basket down there. That door will give you access to that. I'm just going to throw a handful of small chunks in for right now, and every so often we'll throw a couple more. That just gives a little bit more of that natural wood smoke taste to it, and we'll kind of go from there. This thing's hot, so yeah, y'all can see down in there. I'll bring y'all around this way a little bit. So we'll just take these wood blocks and just throw them around. We'll let them go. We'll check on these ribs in a little bit. It's been about 15 minutes as is. This little smoker is nothing fancy by any means. I do wish the gauge had actual temps, but you can always buy an aftermarket gauge, drill a hole and install it right there, which is something I might do. I'm not 100% sure yet. I do like this one, but the only negative thing, it's not very big. You got the 2 layers that works, but it's just not very big. And I'm thinking I'm going to go more offset smoker route, even though I do have pick y'all up. Got those 55-gallon drums over there. Thinking about making an ugly drum smoker with them. The kits are about, I think about $200 to turn one of those in. Those had silicone in them. I haven't opened them up yet. My original plan with them, which I got like 8 of them, 10, something like that. My original plan is to make feed storage out of those, which I mean, I got plenty of them. I'm thinking about making an ugly drum smoker with one, or I'm thinking about making a double barrel grill with an offset smoker attached to it. So we'll have to see, kind of go from there. But you can definitely smell that mesquite, and you can see the smoke starting to come up. So the mesquite's doing what it needs to do. And we're going to check on the meat here. Probably about 15 more minutes. It's been about 15 minutes as is. So we'll check on it in 30 minutes and see how it looks. Alright, it's been 30 minutes. Let's take our first little glance really quick. It's looking pretty good down there. Let's see if you can see the bottom ones. So we still got a long ways to go. I'm gonna put the lid back on it. So what I'm gonna start now is in another 30 minutes. I'm gonna start spraying the meat. Haven't decided yet if I'm gonna do a beef broth mixture or a Worcestershire sauce mixture, or maybe some apple juice and apple cider. We'll have to see. All right, guys, we're about an hour and a half in. Let's check on our meat. It's looking really good. You can see the bark starting to set in. So we're going to use this time. We're going to split it with some apple cider vinegar. Awesome. It's looking really good. You can see it's starting to pull off the bone some. It's looking nice. We're still hovering in the ideal range, just slightly above warm. I don't know what actual temperature that is. I think I am going to go ahead and buy me a new one with a that actually has a reading, and I should be able to just drill and tap a hole here, or drill a hole and install it here. So I got to looking at some offset smokers. Man, them things are crazy in price too. They're like $600–700 just for a regular offset smoker. So we're gonna be using this thing for smoking meat for now on until I'm probably gonna make one of those barrels into an offset smoker, or like an ugly drum smoker or something. Anyway, so every half hour we're gonna split with apple cider vinegar. You can use beef broth, you can use beer, you can use apple juice, you can use a mixture of all of it, you can use Worcestershire sauce. As far as my bottle, my lovely pink bottle, I got that from the dollar store. It's all they had. It does the job. So next thing I'll do is I'm going to throw some more wood on the fire to give us a little bit more smoke. And then about every half hour to 45 minutes, we're going to split some meat. And roughly around that 3-hour mark, we're probably going to start looking at wrapping it. And then we'll leave it in wrap, some aluminum foil for 2 hours, and go from there. All right, we hit that 2-hour mark. Spritz it again. Okay. Then we're going to let it go for probably another 30 minutes. 30 minutes to an hour. And then we're probably going to start looking at trying to wrap it. Alright guys, we're at the 2.5-hour mark. Oh yeah, that's looking really good. We're gonna let it go 30 more minutes, and then we're gonna wrap it in aluminum foil. We're gonna put some butter in there, and then we're gonna basically braise it for probably about 2 more hours. All right. Look at them. They're looking delicious. Let's take them off. We're gonna go wrap them. Well, if I can get them off. Look at all that goodness right there. We're gonna go inside and wrap these up, put some butter on them, put them back on the grill. Okay. Bust out the aluminum foil. We'll wrap all these up. Oh man. Still a lot of sponge. Oh, look at all that juice shooting out. Thinking this is gonna be the better way to do it, maybe. I need a little bit more foil for this one than that. All right. There we go. We're gonna face him meat down and get the butter. This stuff is looking good. Splits it with a little bit of apple vinegar here. Yep. I'm going to wrap it again because I punched through there. Okay, first one's done. Just gotta do this for all the rest of them. Okay, I'm gonna load these all back up. Go put them back on the grill. Okay, back at the smoker. Okay, now we're gonna let them braise for about 2 hours. So the first 3 hours, we're basically letting it absorb all that smoke. And the next 2 hours, it's gonna allow all that butter to melt. It's gonna baste that meat in that butter. That butter's gonna add a lot of flavor. That's real butter. So if you ain't using that to cook with, I highly recommend you try it. But anyway, when it wrapped in aluminum foil, and that butter and that apple cider vinegar that we sprayed on it, it's going to baste that meat, and it's going to help that meat break down all the fiber, not the fibers, what is it, the
collagen in it and the different fats in it. It's gonna make that meat really delicious and moist. So we're gonna let this thing roll for 2 more hours, then we should be done. All right, guys, it's 2 hours later. Let's pull them off. Let's see. Yep. Might be able to grab this back. Yeah, well. Hot. 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 We are not grabbing that with our hands. Ooh, hot, 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 hot. Oh, I know it smells delicious. We're gonna go probably open one up just to see what it looks like, but the rest of them we'll put in the oven. The oven's not on or anything, but the oven will just help it kind of retain that heat a little bit. And we'll let them rest until probably about an hour or so, and they should be good to go. All right, let's take a look at one of these. Oh yeah.
Whoa.
Really good. Ooh.
That looks super good. I think Mom will eat it. Or now it's. Wait, I think now we gotta have a quick over. With Flint. Maybe the mom with after he got done with the birthday one day, he got her back. He got her back in the morning. And now you know
That looks really good.
Off.
Super juicy.
Now everything's off. Now 2 more. Cause I would after Mama I go.
Oh, that's extremely tender.
Oh.
So very juicy. No, well, that's coming across the camera how juicy that is. Tastes really good. We're gonna wrap this back up. We'll put it on the back in this, and then we'll slide it in the oven and just let it sit there and rest until we get all the sides cooked and everything. Should be roughly about an hour.
Okay, I can try.
All right, guys. These things been resting for almost 3 hours now. 3 hours? 2 hours. Almost 2 hours. Take a look. We got a good shot? Yeah, we got a good shot. Oh, yeah. Look at that. That's one pretty piece of meat. Let's see. Let's see. See how juicy it is? Oh, yeah. Turned out really good. Let that butter and all that good juice go to waste. Alright guys, that's it on this one. This turned out really good. Took a while. Yeah, how delicious that looks. Turned out really well, especially on that little bullet smoker. As you can tell, it doesn't take a whole lot to make good beef, especially beef that you raise yourself or beef that's raised on a local farm. Highly recommend that if y'all can, find you a local farmer that can sell you some beef or sell you half cow, full cow, or if they might sell actually processed meat, which is another route to go. Eventually we're going to get that route. Eventually we're going to start selling at farmers markets, but it's just not there now. We got to get bigger. We got to get more cattle to be able to do something like that. But I'm going to enjoy this because it tastes delicious. We got some macaroni and cheese and some barbecue beans to go with it. So I'm pretty excited about dinner tonight. Anyway, hope y'all had a good one. I hope y'all enjoyed this video. I know I did. I really enjoy smoking meat, and especially using that little bullet smoker. The Pit Boss is nice for convenience, but it's just not near as fun as something like that, where you got to constantly stoke the fire and make sure everything's happy. So, y'all have a good night. Thank you for joining me on the farm. Catch y'all next time.